Hello, my name is Matthew Goronsky. I am a middle school and high school choir director and composer. What you just heard was an instrument that I made along with one of my choirs a few years ago. I had an exceptionally talented choir, and I loved the way they sounded. I was like, I wish there was just some way to capture this choir. And I was familiar with programming other instruments and drums and different things like that. And what I'm going to show you right now is just a little snippet of what I did. Maybe it'll kind of get you thinking. It's been a really great tool in the classroom, being able to show the students this is them. This is an actual recording. And what you're about to hear was done with very minimal editing. This is basically them singing each chromatic pitch. And if you look at my screen here, this is Logic Pro, by the way, which is kind of like a more advanced GarageBand program, and this is the EXS 24, which is basically a sampling instrument or program. These are a bunch of different files here. I had my students record various chromatic pitches on 3 different vowels, on an oo, an o, and an ah, and I took all of those files. I had them sing for about 8 beats, roughly, to a tempo in my head, and had them, sing it all together. I recorded them on different tracks and took those tracks and put it into this program, which you see over here. And I organized all those files into oohs, ohs, and ahs. And if you look down here on this keyboard here, I basically dragged all of these files onto these different notes so that when I play a note on the keyboard, it corresponds to that. Now, what I also did, just to kind of make it more of a useful or expressive instrument, is for the harder I press on the keyboard, that change, or it's called the velocity of that Midi note. The harder I play on the keyboard, it changes to a different vowel. So as you'll hear, an oo is a very, if I play very gently on the keyboard, oh, if I play a little bit harder, and ah, if I play pretty strong. And the amazing thing, and part of the reason I want to show you this, is to maybe other choir directors or composers or other people who've never tried this before. It was a fantastic way to show my students, maybe they're having a tough time in a particular piece and they don't think they sound that great. Well, I was able to basically, or I can even now, just play their part and just on a simple vowel and say, this is you. You are fully capable of doing this, and this is how good it can sound. Again, this is their voices. The only thing, and I'll show you in the program, that you can change if you were to do this is basically if you hear each note or chord, you can change how long or how short that lasts. So I can change this to a short, very short, basically cut off, or you can go for very long, where it just kind of carries out and then drifts off. Then you could also change the glide between the pitches, which is pretty cool, or to a single legato line, which, if you change with some of the settings, as you can hear, it sounds kind of digital because it's blending those 2 different samples together. So as you can see, I like to keep that glide pretty short. One thing I was also able to do is basically assign, by using these presets over here, to another MIDI keyboard where you can change the expression wheel to select the different samples of the oo, o, and ah, as opposed to the velocity or how hard I'm playing. So there's a lot of different options of what you can do. You could even try this on your own voice. I think I might do that next, and just kind of have your own instrument. Another thing I was able to do is basically map these different notes to kind of cover up some pitches. I did have some notes where they either weren't in tune, or it just wasn't the right vowel, or there was a background noise in the recording. And what you can do is you can actually, I even stretched to expand it. If you look down here, I actually only recorded I only had them record up to that high E, but if you can stretch it or edit it in the program to actually go beyond that. So I actually had to go up to a high G just for basically the typical range. And the farther you go, the farther you go away from that original note, it's just going to sound more digital because, again, it's the program adjusting that pitch or recording. I did the same thing low. I had my gentleman, they sang all the way down to that low C. And then I had them basically stretch that note, as you can see here. I stretched that note all the way down to a low F. Still, again, sounds pretty authentic. Starts to sound obviously a little bit more digital, because I don't think any any singer in any middle school choir can hit that low F there. Although, you never know. Anyway, thank you so much for listening. Again, my name is Matthew Goronsky. If you would like any other information about how to do this or any advice, feel free to reach out either on this video or MatthewGoronsky.com. And thanks so much for listening. And hopefully this has given you some kind of ideas or inspiration. So please enjoy. Feel free to share. And before you go, I'm just going to play you out. Check it out.